Hello everybody out there. How are you all doing? I'm Kate Hill, as always bringing you the best unbiased and honest content on property, along with really fantastic hints and tips. Stay tuned today as I chat to you about Australia's housing crisis. Australia's housing crisis has become a fiercely debated topic, capturing the attention of policymakers, economists, and the general public alike, as the nation grapples with the multifaceted challenges of housing affordability, accessibility, sustainability. The discourse surrounding this issue really has evolved into quite a complex web of competing narratives, proposed solutions, and ideological clashes. Amidst growing public discontent and calls for action, housing has pushed its way to the forefront yet again of political debate, demanding attention from those policymakers, advocacy groups, me, the general public. Political parties are compelled to grapple with this issue as voters demand tangible solutions to address housing affordability, homelessness, and access to secure accommodation. So consequently, housing has become a key battleground in electoral campaigns, shaping policy agendas and influencing voter sentiment. As politicians navigate the intricate terrain of the housing crisis, they are confronted with competing interests, ideological differences, and the imperative to balance economic imperatives with social equity. So in this dynamic landscape, the housing crisis really has transcended its status as a mere policy challenge to emerge as a defining political issue, and one that deeply resonates with the aspirations and concerns of Australians across the nation. The housing crisis in Australia has sparked this fierce political competition among major parties, including obviously Labor, the Coalition and the Greens. And as highlighted in an ABC News article quite recently, the issue has become a defining battleground for the next federal election, with each party vying to address the concerns of a growing cohort of Australians impacted by the crisis. So here's a little bit of a closer look as how this has intensified political competition. Labor's stance on the housing crisis has become a focal point of debate. While proposing measures to address housing affordability, critics argue that Labor's plan may actually not adequately support renters, potentially exacerbating the crisis. We are already seeing that happening. There's no may about it. The Coalition, in response to the housing crisis, has faced pressure to implement effective policies to alleviate the burden on homeowners and renters. Their strategies and initiatives are scrutinised closely, of course, particularly in light of the escalating crisis. The Greens have emerged with radical proposals, insane, quite frankly, including advocating for a government-run property developer, challenging traditional approaches to housing policy. This has injected a new dimension into the political discourse surrounding the crisis, stirring debate and influencing this broader political landscape. As our housing crisis persists and elections loom, the political competition among major parties will intensify further, with each vying to present viable solutions and win the support of voters affected by the crisis. Never forget that. They are rarely interested in solving an actual problem. It is about getting votes and staying in the business of government. The ABC News article that I read recently also sheds light on diverse community perspectives and insights regarding how the housing crisis impacts various communities and demographics across Australia. Many homeowners express concerns about these skyrocketing property prices, obviously, which not only affect their ability to afford housing, but also contribute to the intergenerational wealth disparity. Renters face challenges in finding affordable and stable housing, with rising rents and limited options exacerbating rental stress. This particularly affects low-income families and individuals who may struggle to secure suitable accommodation. Younger Australians, including millennials and Gen Z, for example, voice frustrations over the prospect of home ownership becoming increasingly out of reach. They highlight the need for policies that address housing affordability and provide pathways to that home ownership. The housing crisis is not limited to urban areas, particularly since the COVID-induced tree change movement. Regional communities also grapple with affordability issues, and housing shortages. This will impact population growth, economic development and social cohesion in regional areas. Indigenous communities face unique challenges, including inadequate housing infrastructure, overcrowding and limited access to essential services. Addressing the housing crisis in those communities really requires culturally sensitive and community-driven approaches. So these perspectives underscore, like I said, this multifaceted nature of our housing crisis and highlight the urgent need for comprehensive and inclusive policy responses to address the diverse need of communities across Australia. For starters, state and federal governments should lessen imposing fiscal and legislative restrictions on investors who supply the majority of Australia's rental housing for several reasons. By reducing restrictions, governments can encourage more investment in the housing market, and then this influx of capital can help expand the rental housing stock, addresses shortages and potentially stabilises and reduces rental prices. Excessive regulations will hinder market efficiency by discouraging investment and limiting competition among investors. Allowing investors to operate more freely does lead to a more competitive rental market, potentially improving affordability and quality for tenants. Removing restrictions will incentivise innovation and development in housing sector. Investors can be more inclined to explore new models such as build-to-rent projects, which can contribute to increased rental supply and offer tenants more options. With a rental crisis in Australia, especially in urbanised areas, it's essential to remove these barriers that hinder expansion of rental housing options. Allowing investors to operate more freely will play a significant role in addressing this crisis. So by easing these fiscal and legislative restrictions on investors in rental housing, the government can foster a more dynamic and responsive housing sector that better serves the needs of tenants while promoting overall economic growth and stability. I will keep you posted as always on all things property from around Australia as our year progresses. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you're enjoying all the free content, and I will see you again really soon. Bye.